Hi everyone. So I had another video that I wanted to make that is kind of in relation to the previous video that I made. That was a specific reading for people that are struggling lately, anyone that is struggling lately. But I got personally 3 archangels looking after me. That's how it seems. And I like how the deck I've got is by Bradley Valentine. It's angel cards, and they not only are kind of like numbered like tarot cards, but they're also they have the intermittent, I think that's the word, intermittent, it's a big word, but property that they it's like the Hermit, the Wheel, the Chariot, the Lovers. It is like a tarot deck, but it's kind of made me realise that within these things it says like the Chariot, Archangel Metatron, the Wheel, Archangel Michael, the Hermit, Archangel Raziel, Justice, Archangel Miguel. So like different fortunes are brought about by different angels, different changes in life, different realizations. Like how Archangel Michael can control your fortunes, and it's saying that it's time for positive change for me, and that a situation will move forward, and that fortune is on my side. I did see that one of the cards, the Hermit, which is very special to me, it said spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching and self-recovery. But I questioned myself because it said fair and just decisions, do what you know is right and stand up for your beliefs. And I thought, why am I always in the foreground questioning what I should and shouldn't say based on the actions of other people? I'm not going to live my life like that. If I feel I have something special to say, then I'm going to say it. So, yeah, it really does speak a lot about what I've been seeing online, and how there's a lot of messages of support. It just seems like divine timing in my life. So, yeah, I kind of, now I've said it, I don't know why I said it, why it was important. What's most important is that I have my own solitude, my own peace, and I've kind of felt that way a lot. Like I said to someone that I did meet quite a few times, that every time you think, well, how it used to be, and I think this is where shifts in planetary alignments and things come in, because like up to a certain point, every time I even thought about a body part, somebody would touch it, and it caused me so much internal trauma, and like it really just it made me angry. I can say that. I didn't know how to express myself. I didn't know how to present myself in a way that, you know, how do I live by my laurels, my virtues, when having to tell someone and having to be angry at someone and not having that peace, that freedom for yourself. And I see a reading that there's no other way to describe it. The angels really are on your side, and that the way that you have been treated is poor. And it really has, like, although it's taught me a lot about people not only want to do wrong in this life, but they will do wrong purposely, and they will do it to the most innocent person they can find. And having that indifference in your life is kind of scary, and at the same time it's empowering. But like I mentioned in my other video, it's not injustices that spur good people forward. It's in fact their intimate relationship with the God that they have, and how it's not so much knowing the difference between right and wrong, it's knowing yourself and knowing that, you know, you would never treat someone like that. More so that you didn't, and you didn't deserve it. But I think what I've taken from the situation is that anyone can tell someone to look at a situation for what it is, break away, you know. But sometimes in situations in people's lives, everything is not clear, and you shouldn't judge a person because they act a certain way, or they're temperous for one moment, or, you know, they said something that you didn't agree with, or like, and that makes me, you know, the way people feel down about themselves, like they feel ugly. Sometimes I feel ugly. I feel like I have done in the past, like I get afraid about my skin and things, but ultimately beauty belongs inside of people, and I think the ultimate dream, that's the main point why I made this video. It's not dying in this life that is the biggest curse. It's the dreams we let die inside of us. You know, like, the reality are that we are beautiful people, that we have ultimately, somewhere in our lives, even bad people had a hope that they was a good person, that, you know, them, that they was innocent at one point. And like, it's difficult to say, because all my life I've kind of looked at things like, not so much that I was meant to change people, I was meant to explain to them, you know, or I was meant to show them different. But ultimately I think, you know, they say God chooses his toughest soldiers for his toughest battles, and that is that, in that part, that sensitivity part, where people break others because they feel broken. They don't feel worthy. They don't feel God's love. They've faced darknesses in their life where they've never, like, they've never fully attained what God's love and what God's light is. They've never given themselves the opportunity to feel it. And only experience shows me that, because I really have felt and seen what that can feel like continuously over and over. But I do look at my past in a way that, so I don't regret my past. I've empowered myself through my past. I now feel comfortable with who I am, and I feel a lot of strength on the basis that I have done good things in my life, like I said, that I've managed to keep myself somewhat sane, somewhat stable, and that I think the difference between breaking and making it is reaching towards the light. So, to be fair, to be just, but ultimately believing in yourself. We all face bad things in this life, and the only difference between a terrible picture and a good picture is someone who put the heart in it. So, like, you make of the painting what you will. Like, everyone's their own masterpiece, and we could all fall short, like, of expectations even to ourselves. But at some point in someone's life, in everyone's life, everyone had a dream. So yeah, and my biggest dream is to, like, is to connect with people on that level. Not that I feel like I need to, or like I feel like it was like ordained that I had to say it. Like somehow I had to make myself righteous, somehow I had to make others wrong, somehow I had to enlighten them. I had to speak to them as if I was, you know, so innocent, such a pure angel. And it, you know, life's not like that. Life ain't pretty. People do shitty things. I've done shitty things in my life. But the point is, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes, and the greater the dream is, no matter how hard the fall is. If you have a dream and you want something, and you want to be who you are, like who you are at your heart. And I feel like a lot of people, they listen to like new age videos, like spiritual stuff, like tarot readings, like prophecies from people who say they're sending messages from God and things like that, and they listen, but they listen with the intention of it either being right or being wrong, and they miss the point. These people are speaking to you, to your soul, and they're saying, you know, like God, no matter what God it was, okay, that there is a God that I believe in. I'm not going to lie about it. I won't mess around with the other ideas of other gods. So I believe in one God, and I believe that it is Jesus. I've been healed. My eyes have been healed 3 times. I've died in my sleep. I've come back to life. I've had the spirit put back into me, and I've literally felt every inch of it return to me, and it is no joke. It is some serious stuff. I believe in salvation mainly. That if you believe that He is your saviour, then that's exactly what He will be. And there's no situation in this life that He's not going to make you greater in. You could face anything, absolutely anything, but ultimately God has got your back for a reason. God, I was watching a clip earlier on the television, and I randomly found a channel about God, and I watched it, and there was a man who somebody preaches about Jesus, and he just this 7 minutes that I watched, he was crossing Galilee, and he said over there, God, over in that direction God preached, over in that direction God preached, and over in that direction God preached. And he made it a point that he would talk to everyone. And he said that it was so great what Jesus did, that He did this for the people. And he showed somebody being so he showed someone being baptized, and what did speak to me most is when he stood in a supposed tomb of where Jesus was resurrected, and he said, God, it was almost like it just happened, like I received the message for a reason, but God took your wounds, God took your pain, God took your shame, God took the hunger, God was drawn of His blood, God was whipped, God was beaten, and He suffered greatly so you don't have to. A lot of people, they think, like the way I see it is, a lot of people have so much protection around them, and they don't even realise that, you know, maybe they do feel ashamed, maybe they can't see a way out, maybe they've never learnt better, they don't know how to aspire to be better, they don't know, but I do. So like, and I know this because of miracles that I've received in my life. I've put my hand, I've gone blind, I've gone so dizzy whilst reading the Bible that I knew I'd been making mistakes. I was falling out of myself whilst reading the Bible. And not only had I made mistakes, but I'd experienced a lot in my life and had my faith tested. So anyway, I always know when God's going to heal me, and I put my hands on both of my eyes. Can't do it because I'm holding the camera, but I know, and I don't even have to talk. I can hear God in my mind, and it's like a background thought that you are healed, it is done, and I take my hands away. And this one time I washed my eyes with water because my pupils weren't moving. Someone had affected my eyes, and so I washed my eyes with water and I looked at the Bible again and I could read. That happened 3 times in my life in different scenarios, and I found that I am a healer. That sometimes if I put energy into it and I do it with the sentiment that God's healing powers are in my hands, then I can heal my own body. That's how it feels. Like, even, do you know when you get really bad tummy ache and you put your hand on your belly? But sometimes it like appears of tension, like it's so knowing that power, and it's so great that feeling the difference of pain to complete relief. It's just like a knowing, and whenever I feel like people have been made to be testimonies, and almost as if it's like a heckling game. Like and I think, do you know what? God's laughing. He really is, because it's almost like 4 races. Like that sometimes the greatest justices are served simply through the hands of God. That like atonement, like the greatest atonements that are served are to good people who try to be good, people who are self-realised, and so yeah, I feel like I mean, some people just don't know, they haven't experienced on a level because they've never opened themselves up to things like that. And I'm aware of that because I've turned from God many times. And you know, and every time I turned away, I faced horrible fear, absolutely dreadful fear. And I wondered, I always questioned, you know, why is it that, you know, every time things don't make sense and I question things and I turn away, that things become more unclear, that I'm unprotected, as if it's unfavour upon unfavour upon unfavour. But when I keep Jesus in my mind and in my heart, that is my true, like with my true being. I want to believe that I can be saved. I want to believe that I can be blessed. I don't want to have to believe in anything else than what's going to save me, because this is a hard world. There is so much darkness in the world that a lot of people don't even realise it. They're busy living their lives, they're busy with their jobs, and maybe they've always had money and they've always, you know, I don't know what they've always had that some people always haven't, and why some people seem to get so much light in life and other people live, you know, do a plain old 9 to 5. But I guess some different people have different knowledges and their own way of expressing themselves and things. So, but there was this there was a recording that I read about the lady at the well, and it made me laugh that I said well a lot in the other video. But, yeah. So there was this lady at the well, and Jesus said, "I came to you first," and she didn't believe him. She said, "Are you a prophet? Are you here to tell me of how great you are and how wrong I am?" Or I don't know. I can't exactly remember what she said, but and he said he told her of all of her upsets in her life, and how even when she wanted it, she supposedly missed her blessings with her lover, that she'd had so many partners, she'd been married 5 times, and that she every time she walked past the orange stall, it reminded her of the one that she truly loved, because that was the way he smelled, and she still missed out on him, for whatever reasons, I don't know. But and through this, she was kind of shook, and but it just reminded me that Jesus comes to us all at different points in our lives and shows us different enlightenments at different stages, and no person's on the same path. Or like completely, people are realising things at different times to each other and in different ways. Everyone has their own experience. So yeah, it just really if Jesus can be resurrected, he can do anything. And I really don't think that power is to be underestimated. Like I've seen darkness to pure night, pure darkness turn to light like that. And I asked Jesus to show me he loved me. And I knew at that moment that things may not change fast. They may not be, it may not be like a racing a horse to the finish line with triumphs and things like that. It will simply be Jesus showing his love to me, and through seeing the difference of people that don't believe and living and trying to live their way, trying to live my way, not in so much in terms of actions but in beliefs. I'm a bit of an alchemist and a bit of a seeker, so I've tried different things. I like to find the truth in situations, and mostly with spirituality. I like to know that my decisions and the way I live my life is correct, and that what the reason why I've seen the things I've seen. But yeah, God blesses. Every time someone was unfortunate in the Bible, God blessed them. God blesses people who have been made unfavourable, who face misfortune, because things of this world happen. People have free will, and in the grand scheme of things, ultimately, when people do receive miracles, that's why they say they have a testimony and things like that. So yeah, if God can be resurrected, if God took your pain and you are safe right now, you are safe in the knowledge that what is in the past is in the past, and you are safe in the knowledge that you are safe in the present moment, and you are safe in the knowledge that you can do better, and everyone can do better for themselves by their own standards, nobody else's. So ultimately God teached, but not only did he teach and bless people and forgive people, but he set them free, and he showed them the last part that was beautiful really about the lady at the well, because the last part that the lady said And Jesus said to the lady, she said about love, and almost as if only love should have had existed. And he said, soon there will be only hearts. And I've always been the type of person to see to someone's heart, and that's why it always breaks me so much when people can, they can do things that just don't happen in your worst nightmares. And it's difficult to have a perception of the world that some people are good and some people are bad, and that, there is a God. Some gods believe that some people are good and some people are bad, and I've learned that. But God says, you are my child. I died for your sins. I took your pain, I took your shame, and I resurrected to live and to show you that his power is ultimate, that he can bring peace to your life, and he can bring humility, and he can bring miracles to your life, and all you have to do is be willing. And I think it's important for people to know that no matter what, someone out there sees through to the heart of the situation. And it's like, there's this song by Madonna, and one of them is Masterpiece, which I really like. That we're all masterpieces, and I can't tell you why it hurts so much to be another masterpiece, because nothing's indestructible. But yeah, that's kind of the sentiment of living on the edge of that, and that emotion, that raw tension, and even for reasons what I can't fathom myself, and I don't need to. All I need to know is that God's got my back, and God shows me mercy, and God gives me grace, and I wear the armour of God in terms of I won't take injury. I because I wear the full armour of God, I believe that nothing can truly harm me, and that's exactly how I've survived. Because I've always envisioned a better day, and yeah. So I've always just had this vision that I don't know, that I could be loved by Jesus, that I could walk a path that, despite what I was shown, despite the hurt, despite the anger, despite the enormous amounts of fear, despite the ideas that I've been given of what I should and shouldn't believe, on how everyone else wants me to be and be controlled by them, or to accept the way things are, I've got my own reality that I can't give up on, because it's what makes me up in the morning. It's what makes me feel fulfilled. It's what makes me feel like, apart from what's good and bad in the world, I know because God shows me, and it's something good, it's something worthwhile, it's something worth living for, that it doesn't matter about, well, it does, it matters greatly to Jesus, but ultimately that things will turn out in my favour, that God is going to make me great, that, yeah, I don't know what else to say for that. It's just, what's done in the dark is always brought to the light, and more than that, I've never wanted to face shame for these things. I'm quite a shy person. I don't want to have to live my life as someone who's suffered, but I guess, we all suffer in some way or another in life. It's just a little bit, my life's been a little bit different, and I feel like I'm not afraid to live my life and my truth now, and the things that God has done in my life, absolutely amazing things. I can't even begin to explain to or remember all the things that he's done. It's just been such a ride, and you know what, I was I was seeing shadows, and it's part of what bad people do with bad energies, whatever. I don't even want to say the word. I'm just going to call it bad energies, bad matter. So yeah, I see a lot of shadows and things, and sometimes at points where I was so fearful, I just turned my cheek and I walked away. My heart racing in my chest, I walked away. I could see spirits, and they was making me fall asleep to the point where I felt like I wasn't in my body, that I was leaving my body. These spirits were shouting at me, but now I realise that a lot of them are just, like bad matter, so I don't talk about it too much. And but the important thing is that I learned how to overcome these things and how to use my integrity to see better. So, like, to not follow other gods, to know that Jesus, God in the Bible, he says that one of the I can't think of the word for it. One of the 10 commandments is that you should not follow any other god but him. And this whole he's a prophet thing doesn't work with me, because I've seen the truth, and I don't believe that anyone was born on this earth to suffer or to die, or to simply be bad because everyone's someone bad calling someone bad. Life shouldn't have to be like that, because there's an innocent part to everyone, even if I haven't realised it yet. So yeah, and I just hope so much that people see that there is people out there that can see the complexity of the situation, and that it's not always about, sometimes not about being a good person. It's about having opportunity to know better. And so yeah, I think ultimately things that come in alignment for people at certain times where they feel like it's not so much things releasing and being, old things being outshed, old situations being outshed, new situations coming in. It's about perspectives, and not only that, angelic guidance, help, and some things are set in fate. I think that's the whole point of testimonies. It's like, if God wants to bless you, he will. When he went to the lady at the well, he said, I came specifically for you. When people drink from the well, they will be forever thirsty. When people drink from me, the living water, drink as it's a gift, then they will never thirst. And he said, I came all this way. She said, I don't believe you. And he said, I came all this way for you. You are the first person I came to see. And I have a really, really lovely feeling. A really, really beautiful feeling, because I know exactly how blessed I am. I am super blessed. That you would not believe the amount I've come through, and exactly how I have the dignity in myself to explain it to you quite so righteously, because you would not believe it if you see it with your own two eyes. Super, yeah?